Coach, obviously you spent a lot of time with your team after this game. What's your biggest takeaway from the big picture of the 40 minutes tonight against Utah State?
Two things. A lot of good things happening out there for us. And I saw a lot of good signs of individual play and team play, but it's just not nearly enough. And until the mentality changes, you have to change from the neck up. For us to stay consistent, we have to be consistent from the neck up.
If you have a question for Coach Hutt, please type question in the chat. We'll go to Alyssa Flores.
Hey, Coach, this is Stephen Hicks from 30. I mean, what can you say about the play of your team in that first half and kind of hanging with them, similar to how you guys did in the first half of that Boise State game? And what can you kind of point to as the difference in the second half?
You know, we ain't trying to just hang with, we're not trying to just hang with the good teams, you know? And I appreciate the, you know, the recognition that we can play with the best teams for a certain amount of time, you know, but, you know, we're just inconsistent with what we're doing. And it's not all us. Obviously, those good teams, when they step it up and they make good plays themselves also, you know, and so it's a lot of times Boise or it was Utah State, you know, they stepped up and made good plays also. But we have to get rid of the ones where we shoot ourselves in the foot, where we didn't get a defensive rebound, a silly turnover, you know, bad shot. You know, those are the ones, if we're gonna be able to beat good teams, we have to do things that deserve to beat good teams.
Go to Robert Kawada.
Consistent from the neck up doesn't sound like an easy thing to attain. How does the team get there?
It usually takes time. You know, Rob, a very astute question and understand it takes time. A lot of times it takes experiences. You know, people grow through experiences. And, you know, it's a thin line between beating them up and showing them the bad things and praising them and showing them the good things. And we talked about, you know, we're not mailing in this 3 weeks. I want to see the neck up grow in the next 3 weeks, because if we see that grow, then we'll see our team grow. And we're going to fight every day in practice and every game to become more consistent. And we can't come more consistent on the floor until we're more consistent with our mentality.
We'll go to Julia Lopez.
Hey, Coach, I noticed the same starting five as last game. Is this going to be the starting five moving forward that you're pretty confident with, or are you still, you know, trying to work some guys in?
I don't know. We'll see game to game.
If you have a question for Coach Hutson, please type question in the chat. Stephen Hicks.
Coach, kind of going off of your last answer of trying to balance, you know, being hard on them versus seeing them grow. There was a moment there in the second half where you kind of popped up off the bench and were, you know, kind of frantically doing the high fives. Just how important is that for a team that's kind of coming together to just kind of see that support, even when, you know, the situation wasn't what you or they had hoped for?
Well, it's you want to be real. I think you know, we're around each other 6 days a week right now. So I jumped up and popped up because I was really excited about the way that group was playing, regardless of the circumstance. And, you know, and you're trying to let everybody know if we can play that way longer, we got a chance to be really good. And so I'm not going to get up. I'm not going to scratch my head if it don't itch. I'm not going to dance if I don't hear any music. If they give me something to really be excited about, I'm going to make sure I let them know because they're working hard.
If you have a question for Coach Hutson, please type question in the chat. We'll stay with Stephen Hicks.
Coach, last question for me. Keita kind of limped off the floor there in the second half, and I don't think we know his status for game 2, but if he doesn't play, just what does that take away from their game, and how might you prepare differently for that?
I hope he's okay. You know, he's a really good player in this conference, and obviously he's worked really hard to get back from his injury, so I hope he's okay. And, you know, we all know that he brings a whole bunch of stuff on both ends of the floor for them.
We'll go to Jackson Moore.
Coach, Utah State obviously has a lot of size, even in addition to Kada. Just how did you feel about how your guys matched up? We saw a lot of Mia and Orlando on the court at the same time. Just what did you see from your bigs in this type of matchup?
You know, from those two bigs that we had out there, I saw some really good things and I saw some awful things. You know, and if we can get more consistency, and it was on both ends. I saw some guys go exactly where they're supposed to go. And when they went there, we got dunks. I saw us protect the rim and call pick and roll defense. I saw us get offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds. And it looked like, wow, we're pretty good. And then I saw a whole bunch of breakdowns from both of those guys that really hurt us.
If you have a question for Coach Hutson, please type question in the chat. Jesus?
Hey, Coach, what impressed you the most about this Utah State team?
They're connected. They're connected on both ends of the floor.
We'll go to Robert Kawada.
So no turnovers for like the first 13 minutes, and then it seemed to just kind of get away with some, let's say, unforced mistakes. I mean, that's part of consistency, obviously, but is there a faster way out of that? I mean, just game to game?
You know, Rob, it's a great question again. You know, when you're sitting there watching and you're rooting for us, I imagine you are, and you see there's no turnovers for 13 minutes and we're defending, and that helps our defense, right? I mean, in any sport, those turnovers, remember they had 1-3 for a while, and one of them was off a turnover. Then they had another 3 and it was off an offensive rebound. So we spend a lot of time on taking away certain guys, and then we shoot our own self in the foot. And the next perfect game is going to be the first perfect one. So we're going to make some mistakes. We have to stop making the ones that are careless. We have to stop making the unforced turnovers. If we can stop making the unforced turnovers, that's one step from us getting a lot better.
Seeing no other questions, we'll pause there. Anthony Holland will be joining us here shortly.
Thank you, guys.
Anthony, just wondering, when you're out there on the floor and things start to slip a little bit, I mean, you ever feel like if this was a typical February and you had all the practice time and you had all the games in, that you see plays that you might be making that are not being made right now just because of the lost time?
Well, yeah, like, you know, this whole situation is kind of crazy. Well, I'm just blessed, first of all, to be playing games, because most of these games getting canceled. And, you know, we got to work with what we have, and we can't really make excuses. We got to go out there and just play hard and just play the right way, you know, no matter what the circumstance is.
If you've got a question for Anthony, please type question in the chat. Jesus?
Hey, Anthony, real quick, you guys were really close to them in the second half. I think you guys trailed by just 4 points, but then everything kind of collapsed in the second half. What do you think you guys struggled with the most in that second half?
You know, they got a little hot. You know, most teams get hot, and we got a little cold on offense, and you know that always happens. We just gotta go back, watch film, and fix the things that we can do better on.
Awesome, thank you.
Go to Robert Kawada again.
Just kind of wondering how close you guys feel to maybe, you know, stringing some more minutes together, both ends of the floor.
We feel like we're really close. You know, Coach says we're really close. We're getting better. We feel like we're getting better every day, and we're really getting there. It's going to be a process, though.
We'll go to Jackson Moore.
Anthony, you've shot the 3 ball your best so far this season over the last 3 games. Is there anything you attribute that to?
You know, it's just mainly staying in the gym, getting extra shots up, and just knocking them down when I'm open, shooting with confidence.
We'll go to Julia Lopez.
Hey, Anthony, I asked Coach Hutson if, you know, this is going to be the starting 5 for the, you know, moving forward. He said it's going to be game to game, but how confident are you with that starting 5, and how comfortable are you guys?
Well, we got a little chemistry going on now, but no matter what, no matter if I'm starting, no matter who's starting, if I come off the bench, we just got to be ready to play every game and play our hardest.
If you have a question for Anthony, please type question in the chat.
Yeah, if I can follow up, he was talking about, mentality. Just what do you guys have to do as players to really, fix the mentality when you guys are down and just keep fighting till the end?
With mentality, we just gotta stick together instead of going apart and doing our own thing. We gotta come together as a team. That's when we communicate more. That's when we play harder for each other. And that's the mentality we just gotta work on and get better at every day.
Well, thanks, everybody. We'll see you again on Saturday.
All right, thank you.